ordinary, boldly committing to furthering our impact and contribution. I want to go back to the early 1900s, when Mr. Jamnalal Bajaj, my grandfather, and the founder of the Bajaj Group, when he started his philanthropic activities, that time there was no CSR, there was no 2%, and that time he decided that it is something which is to be done because it is nothing to do with philanthropy, it has got to do with a natural thing which each person must do. Every time he believed that business was responsible not only to generate profit, but also to contribute to the welfare of the community they serve. Throughout his life, he engaged in various social and humanitarian causes. Mahatma Gandhi and Vinobaji were his constant pillar of guidance. Jamnalalji played a significant role in funding and organizing various initiatives led by Gandhi, including the Salt Satyagraha and the Quit India movement. Something which are very little known to people is that, it's very easy for Gandhiji to say that all of you, jail bharo, let us go for the Quit India movement or go for the Salt Satyagraha. But many of them were middle-class people who had a family to worry about. So he did not make any noise about it, but he made sure that all those who were in jail or who went for this movement, he would fund them by sending them whatever 10 rupees, 20 rupees, whatever is required for their family to sustain themselves. This is something which is very different and we never talked about it. Frankly speaking, many of us did not even know about it, that was done. Some people said, your grandfather supported us and our family, that's why we are here. Now, those are things which are very important, which is what we think is very useful. On 31st July 1933, when the Salt Satyagraha was over, Gandhiji announced that I will not come back to Sabarmati or come back to Gujarat till we attain freedom. At that time, Jamnalalji invited him to come to Wardha. Gandhiji also was very intelligent. He realized that Wardha and Nagpur is the center of India. And therefore, to do his activity, he had both the things. It was in the center of the country, and also it was in a rural area, so he could interact with the masses. So both the things were very important. Now, when he came to Wardha, which again many people may not know, that we have a village called Shegaon. And in Shegaon, it was something which was given to Gandhiji, which has now become Sevagram Ashram. The Sevagram Ashram was belonging to the Bajaj family, called Shegaon, which was converted into Sevagram. Similarly, Vinoba Bhave came there and it became, the Paunar Ashram was also given by him. So many of these things are not known to people, but I thought it is very important for you to know. Jamnalalji established educational institutions, hospitals, charitable trusts, provide quality education and health care services to marginal communities. And his wife, Janki Devi Bajaj, who incidentally was the first to get the Padma Vibhushan, first lady to get a Padma Vibhushan in 1956, for her contribution in terms of promoting khadi, eradicate social evils such as untouchability, parda removal, and caste and gender discrimination. Now the interesting thing is that 100 years back, we now talk about work from home. You can imagine that time, there was no internet, there was no communication available. In spite of that, khadi was a way by which you could work from home. The women in the villages could work from home and earn money. So today when we say it's a good concept that ladies can work from home, that was 100 years back. Gandhiji and Jamnalalji decided that work from home is something which is very, very useful. And today the biggest problem in India is to get employment. And that will be more discussed later on. But I'm saying, so this way, if we can each just buy a cloth of khadi, lakhs and lakhs of people can get employment. And today, that is something which is a major issue which I think the country is facing. His legacy was continued by his sons Kamananji and Ramkrishna Bajaj, who furthered ethos of CSR. This was supported and strengthened in recent years by Mr. Rahul Bajaj. Even after their passing away, their commitment inspires the Bajaj Group and serves as a guiding principle for the corporate citizenship initiatives. In simple terms, we like to bring a smile in the face of millions of Indian families. Today's CSR for Bajaj Group is not only about fulfilling legal obligations, it's about embracing ethical values and contributing to substantial development to the benefit of society, the nation, and the planet. The group has supported programs ranging from providing accessible eye care, remote villages, planting of millions of trees in barren lands, and making mini forests, supporting weavers of khadi, and many such initiatives that characterize going beyond. Now it's time to hear about new initiative taken by the group. And therefore, I will stop here and thank you all for being part of this important moment in the history of Bajaj Group. Thank you.
May I request the Bajaj Group leaders to please come on stage for the lamp lighting ceremony. Bajaj, Chairman of Bajaj Auto Limited, to deliver his address.
Warm welcome. As you heard from Sri Shekhar Bhai, in the genesis of Bajaj Group's philosophy lies the illustrious legacy of our founding father, Sri Jamnalal Bajaj, who Mahatma Gandhi adopted as his fifth son. Jamnalal ji's name is synonymous with earnestness, unwavering commitment, and a profound dedication to transforming words into action. Katni karni ek si. He practiced what he preached. He strongly believed that common good is more important than individual gain. We are here today carrying his legacy forward, a momentous day for the group to show its commitment and walk in the path laid by our founder, Shri Jamnalal Bajaj. Whenever I wrote of wealthy men becoming trustees of their wealth for the common good, I had always this merchant prince principally in mind, said Mahatma Gandhi while referring to Jamnalal ji. Before we unveil the reason we are here, I would like to highlight one of the biggest challenges our country faces today: skills crisis. Despite being home to a large and young population, there exists a significant gap between the skills possessed by the youth coming in to the job market and the needs of the industry. Let us look at some of the statistics. One study shows that only around 5% of the workforce entering the job market is formally trained in relevant skills, which is significantly lower than many comparable economies. The swift evolution of technology is worsening the situation, impacting industries across all sectors. We believe it's time for us to take significant steps to address this crisis. We believe we should go over and beyond to help address this significant challenge to the nation. Bajaj Beyond. May I ask the film to be played?
Be the change you wish to see in the world, said Gandhiji. The Mahatma's beloved, our founding father Shri Jamnalal Bajaj, practiced Bapu's philosophy in the spirit of Kathni, Karni, Eksi. As we speak, so we do. A mantra that's ingrained in each of us, guiding us, driving us, leading us to do. To make every ride a joy, not just in India, but in 90 nations around the world. To help Indians achieve their dreams through financial confidence. To make every house into a home. To empower communities to thrive. To live and celebrate those who live the Gandhian principles. To enable India's industrialization. Today, India is on the cusp of becoming a superpower, held back from its chosen destiny only by a skill crisis. We believe it is only this that stops our nation from achieving its due destiny. We at Bajaj have made this our Kathni, Karni, Eksi. We are gathering all our might, galvanizing all our forces to partner India into a future beyond this skill gap. Beyond expectations, beyond limitations, beyond imagination, beyond horizons, beyond dreams. Bajaj Beyond. Kathni, Karni, Eksi.
I request the team to take the audience through the Bajaj Beyond website. I extend a warm welcome to all stakeholders to visit our Bajaj Beyond website and understand all our initiatives in detail. To create maximum impact through Bajaj Beyond, we have integrated all our initiatives into this three-circle approach. The core is our primary focus will center on skill development throughout the group. Here we leverage not only our resources, but also our core expertise to design and implement programs that skill our youth across the nation, making them industry ready. Few examples of the programs that come under core are Bajaj Engineering Skills Training, that's BEST, BEST, Certification Program in Banking and Financial Industry, CPBFI, Bajaj Manufacturing Skills, etc. Then there is Direct. We go beyond and drive initiatives in specific thematic areas like health, education, recognition, etc. Few of the examples are Bajaj Institute of Technology, Jamnalal Bajaj Awards, Kamalayan Bajaj Hospital, Shiksha Mandal Colleges in Wardha and Nagpur. And then there is support. We recognize that there are critical areas in our country that require attention, and there are many non-profits that have made significant contribution over the years. We are committed to collaborating with such institutions and backing their efforts to make a positive impact on communities. With this integrated approach, on behalf of the Bajaj Group, I am pleased to announce our future forward statement. Our long-term commitment towards community with a sharp focus on skill development with impact over 2 crore people in the next 5 years by committing 5,000 crores. Once you've absorbed this, I'll go to the next slide. While fully committed to skilling, we do recognize that there are other critical areas that need our focus and support. We partner with several institutions and empower individuals and communities by working in areas of health, education, recognition, and other areas like sports, water conservation, and environment protection. Play the EV.
Bajaj Beyond, Kathni Karni Eksi.
Truth and integrity form the bedrock of prosperity of our business. Honoring the words of Sri Jamnalal Bajaj, we are committed to not measure success by the wealth we amass, but by the lives we touch, ignite, and improve. As part of Bajaj Beyond core initiatives, we have already taken a step forward in implementing few programs. I invite Mr. Rajiv Bajaj to come on stage and present highlights to the audience. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Chairman is, excuse me, Chairman has finished 20 minutes before time. This is how he keeps passing on the work to me. So anyway, I have some good news and some bad news to start with. The good news is that you are now halfway through the session. The bad news is now you have to listen to my gyan for the next 20 minutes. Friends, we've all undoubtedly heard the quote, what is more important, the journey or the destination? And the answer is neither. It is the company that you keep on your journey to the destination. So I want to actually first start by acknowledging and thanking the people who have made today possible. I want to start, I couldn't see them in the morning, but if they are here, I see some of them now. I want to start with Saurabh. Is Saurabh here? Oh, there you are, Saurabh. Saurabh Verma is actually, I can say candidly, the inspiration behind the thought of making skilling the primary focus or the core focus for the Bajaj Group. So don't carry the wrong impression from here that any of us had anything to do with it. We were just fortunate to receive outstanding analysis and a great conclusion from Saurabh. So I've known Saurabh for a long time, since his days at Leo Burnett. He is now the prolific founder of Wonder Labs. He's here with his team. I just saw Siddesh. I'm sure Rajesh is there somewhere. That's him. And Sanju, who's done all the running around, is further behind. So thank you, Team Wonder Lab, and thank you, Saurabh. Thank you very much for this work. Not with us today is our Executive Director, Pradeep Srivastav. Pradeep is head of all operations, and he and his team in engineering, in production, also their colleagues in R&D, in the supply chain purchase functions, and indeed across the company, many of whom are sitting here with us. This is the team that's actually put together everything that we have formulated and hope to execute as Bajaj Auto, as our contribution in the area of skilling our country. Pradeep is in Japan because just yesterday or day before, Bajaj Auto became the first Indian origin company, as they call it, and I think only the 31st or 32nd in the world to receive the world-class TPM award from JIPM in Japan. And although we are not here to discuss that, but with such a big media contingent, I cannot pass up the opportunity to put this before you and hope you carry it back with you. So that's why Pradeep is not here, unfortunately, but he's just played a stellar role in bringing it all together. And then there's the team in the front that's actually pulled it together and made today happen, and will actually implement at the front line the CSR team at Bajaj, headed by Ravi Kiran, Sudhakar, Ramesh, some of whom you saw on the video, and so many others. We won't run through all the names. So, and of course their colleagues, Deepika and everybody else in marketing that have put together the show today for us. So really from the bottom of my heart, thank you everyone for making this happen. And finally, a lot of people to say thank you to, because it's been a massive effort. So finally, to our partners out there, Banasthali that we started with. I don't know if there are people here from Banasthali, but if you're here, thank you very much. And the people at Symbiosis. I would earnestly request all of you to come to the afternoon session at Symbiosis. Some of you have been here to watch as we launch the motorcycles that we make. Please come today to see the skills that lie behind the motorcycles that we make. You will be more impressed by that, I can assure you. I haven't seen it myself, but I have seen some videos and it looks fabulous. So please come. So thank you very much, Symbiosis. And finally, our friends at CII, led by Chandrajit, the Director General of CII, who's taken time out to be here. You know, I am not, very discreet. So I'll just say that he's probably the second most busy person in the country after the Prime Minister. So we are very fortunate Chandrajit is here. And thank you for coming with your colleagues. And he has something exciting to share with you towards the end of today's function. So let's come back to the subject of Bajaj Auto's CSR. Friends, to me personally, the real hallmark of a company is its ability to make a transition when there is a big moment in time. And I would like to say that in the 33 years that I have been here at Bajaj and witnessed it personally, I have experienced at least 3 major transitions. The first, as some of you know well, is the transition from being a scooter company to becoming a motorcycle company. Many people still disagree with this transition, but frankly, we don't care. The second transition is from being a domestic company to becoming a global company. This is still work in process. Maybe we are about halfway through. And now the third transition has been thrust upon us, which is that to new energy vehicles, not just electric vehicles, but new energy vehicles. And so we have the chance for the third time to do something new, to do something different, to do something exciting. And that is what brings us to work. In the words of Darwin, we are adapting. And Darwin, if you remember, said, it is not the strongest or the most intelligent of the species that survives, but the ones who adapt to change, who best adapt to change. So that's what we are trying to do at Bajaj. And I think to adapt, you need 2 fundamental virtues or characteristics. One, you need a good strategy. A strategy is a direction which needs a good idea. And then, secondly, you need some skills, some competence. Otherwise, the strategy or the idea will just remain on paper, will just remain a dream that will be hard to bring into reality. So I think the 2 cornerstones of adapting are strategy and skills. Because skills give us the power to take action and to make execution happen on the ground. Why are skills so important for a company? A company that I perhaps admire the most, no surprise maybe, is Honda Motor Company. Through school, through college, and through my career, I have been very impressed by everything that I have seen of them, including having had the chance to meet many, many senior people who I met in the 90s and in the 2000s, who had worked in the initial days of Honda when they built the company from virtually nothing. And they used to tell us that they were very inspired by their founder Soichiro Honda, who apparently used to say, "Let Honda be the place to realize your dreams. Let Honda be the place to realize your dreams." This was his call to the best engineers to come to Honda, the best managers to come to Honda, to make scooters, motorcycles, cars, etc. And how do you come and realize your dream at Honda? Of course, you need skills. In much the same way, we say to ourselves at Bajaj Auto, come to Bajaj Auto to become the best version of yourself, to do the best that you can do with this life that you have. And once again, if you have to come to Bajaj Auto or indeed to any company and to be the best version of yourselves, for sure, you need to have some skills with which to do that. You have all seen outside the great quote of Gandhiji saying, "Be the change that you want to see in the world." Without these skills at our disposal, it is hard to change ourselves. And if we cannot change ourselves, how are we going to change anything in the world? As someone said, you don't change the world by staring at it. You have to do something about it. And if I may say, you don't change the world by sloganeering at it either. Saying "Make in India" doesn't change the world. Saying "Atmanirbhar" doesn't change the world. Saying "Vocal for Local" doesn't change the world. Saying "Viksit Bharat" doesn't change the world. Words don't change the world unless you have the skills to put those words in action. And you certainly don't change the world by creating a sensation saying, "I am going to spend tens of thousands of crores of rupees on CSR. I am going to touch billions of lives, or I am going to create lakhs of jobs." Since all of you are from the media, you will forgive me for saying that all of you carry all these slogans and all these stories. But maybe it's time to pause and reflect how much of it is actually translated on the ground. And that is why, once again, I urge you to come this afternoon to Symbiosis to see what we are actually putting on the ground there in what we believe is our flagship project. So then what should CSR mean if it has to go beyond staring at the world, sloganeering and creating sensational sentences or sentiments? I'd like to suggest that CSR should mean not corporate social responsibility. It should mean constructive social reform. Constructive social reform. And I say this because this was the subject matter of a short discussion or correspondence between Gandhiji and Jamnalal ji. And this was actually brought to my attention by an Italian gentleman called Fabrizio Petri, who in the past has worked as the first secretary of the Italian embassy in Delhi and is currently the Italian ambassador in Uruguay. And so if you look this up on Google or Wikipedia, you will find a couple of paragraphs that I would very much like to read to you today in the context of CSR as in constructive social reform. Constructive program is a term coined by Mahatma Gandhi to describe one of the two branches of his satyagraha, the other being some form of non-violent resistance, i.e. civil obedience. The value of a constructive program in the struggle for independence of India cannot be overemphasized, as Gandhi described civil disobedience as an aid to constructive effort. So Gandhiji is saying that civil disobedience is only a means to an end. The end, according to him, was actually constructive effort. Gandhi wrote to his friend and supporter, Jamnalal Bajaj, saying, "My real politics is constructive work." Friends, our country will change when our present generation of politicians will say, "My real politics is constructive work." Gandhi's constructive work included a campaign for people to spin their own cloth at home, as my uncle Shekhar just alluded to, and mine their own salt to avoid having to buy from the British in their anti-colonial struggle. Whether you're making cloth or mining salt, you need skills to do it. As opposed to other forms of non-violence that focus on tearing down systems of oppression, a constructive program's focus is about creating more imaginative, just, and equal communities through focusing on equality, economic self-reliance, education, and environmental efforts. So Fabrizio, wherever he is in Uruguay, thank you for this tip. I found it so relevant to the day, so I thought I would take a couple of minutes to read that out. With those words, I have no choice but to present to you the PPT that has been made. So bear with me, I will run you through it really quickly. Okay. So anyway, so this is a quick PPT on what we like to call as BEST, B-E-S-T, Bajaj Engineering Skills Training, because we are an engineering company, a manufacturing company. And our strategy has been to take the skills we have as an engineering company and bring that to bear upon people and people's lives in the marketplace. Next, please. So fundamentally, what's the need for BEST? Quite clearly, I think all of industry will resonate with this, that we hire a lot of young people who, for no fault of theirs, are really not industry ready, so to speak. And since we don't want to just stare at them, we want to do something about it, we think that we can bring our capabilities together to help them to be the best version of themselves. Next, please. Next, please. Yeah. So, BEST, Bajaj Engineering Skills Training. And on the right side, second from the bottom, you will see that in terms of the delivery, 70% of what they will learn with us when they are with us for between 4 to 6 months will be hands-on in the labs, in the workshop, actually doing something, and not just talking and listening like we are doing right now. So it is with that hands-on experience that they will then enter industry, and they will be ready to perform from day one. Perform in what? Next. We have tried to create for them a curriculum which is absolutely industry relevant, not just to the present, but to the future as we anticipate it. We have put our best people on the job of developing the curriculum. We have worked with our partners, including CII that is present here, and of course with our knowledge of engineering, tooling, manufacturing itself. We have put together the equipment, the hardware, not just the software that we think will give them a fantastic industry real experience. Next. There are 4 modules that we have put together. As you can see, the first one is quite obviously mechatronics, which if there is even a little bit of an engineer in you, you would know sets the foundation. And then there is the basic functions of sensing and motion. Then of course, robotics and automation. And finally, all that makes it future relevant in terms of AI, etc. So obviously there's a lot of detail behind all of this. We move forward to see some examples of what you will see later this afternoon. A SCARA robot, for example, is fundamentally a pick-and-place arm, but it can also perform some functions like the application of sealant, for example. Next. Another example of man and machine working together is what's called a cobot. For those of you who've not heard this term before, since the robot works in cooperation with the human being, doing various things which are either repetitive or difficult or dangerous for the human being to do, you create a cobot cell, so you will see that also. Of course, you will see it in our factories and in our supplier factories, but you will see it today at Symbiosis. Next, please. And this is like the full setup from start to finish, all the way from a feeder station through inspection and processing and movement, all the way to the end, to the assembly and sorting. So you will see really the spectrum of activities that take place in industry, and you will gain appreciation for the fact that all those who spend 4 to 6 months experiencing this on a daily basis, 70% of their time, will go back, quite empowered with very industry-ready skills. Next, please. So on our radar right now, we have 15 best centers, some, or I should say 2 at the end of today, operational, some are WIP, and some we are still, in the process of finalizing. But of course, this is only the beginning, and I don't want to make a big deal about the numbers, whether it's the crores or whether it's the thousands of beneficiaries, because this is really just the tip of the iceberg. When we say that skilling is our core CSR activity, what we mean is that for a company like Bajaj Auto, which has quite a sizable CSR budget, over 80%, perhaps over 90% of that budget will go into this. And this is our flagship initiative. So this is for the diploma engineers and the graduate engineers, but then we have to take it down the line because not everybody is a graduate engineer. So we have to take what we have formulated as the Bajaj Manufacturing System, BMS, that syllabus, that curriculum down to an even wider audience, reach the IITIs, reach ultimately all the way down perhaps to 10th grade, 9th grade, 8th grade, and from there create a funnel to draw people in. And as they go through school, college, and graduate, we have to do our best to keep adding value to them so that ultimately at whichever point of time they exit from the funnel, they are able to be the best version of themselves. Next. I think now we have a short video. The video, please.
India produces 15 lakh engineering graduates every year, but only 2.5 lakhs succeed in getting jobs in the core engineering industry. Insufficient practical knowledge and lack of industry exposure are the primary reasons for this skill gap. It is with the purpose of bridging this skill gap that Bajaj Auto came up with the BEST initiative. Let's experience the BEST Center in action. The curriculum at BEST is developed in consultation with the experienced engineers at Bajaj Auto and engineering colleges of India. In mechatronics, the basics of hydraulics, pneumatics, electrical, electronics are covered, while in motion control and sensor technology, the student is exposed to advanced industrial sensors, process control systems, and industrial instrumentation. In robotics and automation, the students are trained on different types of robots, programming, and a 9-station modular manufacturing system using PLC and SCADA. Industry 4.0 and Smart Manufacturing covers manufacturing topics like industrial, IoT, AI and ML, AR and VR.
जेव्हा मी ही कोर्स पूर्ण करून जेव्हा मी बाहेर पडेल तेव्हा मला इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये जे कोण HR जे मॅनेजर असेल तो मला पहिल्यांदा घेईल, कारण की जे मला इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये शिकायचं आहे ते मी ऑलरेडी पहिल्यांदा इथून शिकून निघून बाहेर पडलेलो आहे.
I'm from very rural family, so this program is very beneficial for us, and even it is bridging the gap between college and industry.
Actually, the best thing is Bajaj is offering the scholarship to the best program so that the economically weaker section can also afford it.
कॉलेजमध्ये कसं असतं की फक्त प्रॅक्टिकलवर जास्त भर दिला जात नाही आणि फक्त थेअरीवर दिला जातो आणि मुलांना प्रॅक्टिकल नॉलेज जास्त लागतं कारण इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये वर्क करायला लागतं त्यांना.
Here we are learning is cutting edge. It means the technology that has been present in India right now, or after 10 years it is going to launched in India. So that is the thing that took my attention more into BEST.
More than just academics, it is the hands-on practical experience that makes a great engineer. Our vision is to expand the BEST program across India to ensure a bright future for our young engineers.
And friends, just to close, this is just to say this is a simplistic representation of our way forward. Being a TPM company, we always say first we establish proof of concept or a pilot concept or what we call manager model activity. So we've done that at Banasthali, which is just outside of Jaipur. We are going to showcase that to you at Symbiosis today. So whatever you've seen in the video, it actually exists. The labs are there, the equipment is there, the students are there, the teachers are there, and they're actually doing the things that you just saw. And then we have to horizontally deploy this with improvement to all the other centers. And then, of course, a continuous evolution or development of BEST will take place. So I think that's the end of the PPT, is it? Is there anything else after that? Yeah. So I like to share with people things that I learned from people I refer to as the 8 gurus I've had in my life. And one of them was Dr. Wallace, that I met in the 90s. And one of the learnings he left me with was this, that whenever you seek to do something new, ask yourself if it checks all the boxes in what he would call as the 5 R's. So the first R he would say was for realism. Be realistic in what you're trying to do. You know, don't try to be too audacious. Take a small step forward. The second was responsibility. Be clear about responsibility. And I think in this endeavor, we are very clear about what is our responsibility, each of us at Bajaj, that of our partners, and everybody else who will be associated with this effort. The third, very important, is resources. Make sure you don't under-resource something. Very often we start with lofty ideas and then we simply don't have the focus, so we fragment our resources, and very often a good idea doesn't go all the way to the end because it runs out of resources. So as I explained, over 90% perhaps of our CSR budget every year will go into this effort, so I don't see that happening. Fourth, very important, record. Keep a record of the progress you are making, because only then can you improve upon that year on year. So to the people who are here from my team and from our partners, I would say, please be mindful of this. You keep a record of everything, not just of what we are putting out there, but in terms of how the student is doing after he passes out from here, so that we improve year on year and make the program more and more effective over time. And of course, finally, recognition. You know, it's all very well to talk about Bajaj and Bajaj Group and Bajaj Auto and Symbiosis, Banasthali, CII, everything. But let us also recognize that at the front line, there are people who actually make this happen. You know, the teachers, the staff, the faculty that dedicate their lives to do this, because as you've all undoubtedly read in the book Tuesdays with Muri, if you have, where he says a beautiful sentence, he says, a teacher touches eternity because he doesn't know where his influence ends. You know, so think back for a moment to all our teachers, because of whom we are here today, actually. So we will find a way to recognize these people. What is our goal in closing? Let me just say, what is our goal? Our goal is a qualitative goal. Microsoft is supposed to have said once that their goal was to put a computer in every home. We want to put a world's favorite Indian in every home. In every home, we want to create at least one skilled resource who can help India move forward, who can become a world's favorite Indian, as we believe we have become, by being the third largest motorcycle maker in the world, the largest three-wheeler maker in the world, the largest exporter out of India, and for some time now, the most valuable two-wheeler and three-wheeler company in the world. If we can do it, everyone can do it. Everyone can do it because there is absolutely nothing special about us. We just focused on an idea and we executed it with the skills at our disposal. And we kept trying to improve on that year on year. And that has brought us where we are. So I gave you one definition of CSR. I give you a second one now, not just constructive social reform, but CSR for us specifically stands for create skilled resources. It is as simple as that. We don't need big slogans, we don't need big words. We just need simple ideas and we need to put them into action. That's it from me today. Again, please come this afternoon to see what we have to show you. As much as we have at Bajaj Auto done for engineering, so has Bajaj FinServ and the team there for the financial industry, for the fintech industry. And I'd like to invite now Sanjeev to come up and share their work with you. Thank you very much.
We are still in time, so it's still good morning, folks. In Bajaj FinServ's journey to go beyond, our primary focus is on skilling, and we also do a lot of work for child education and child health. But I will primarily speak about skilling today. And as Rajiv has rightly done, there is a large team that works day in and day out to make this happen. And I'll name a few of them who are here today. So we have Kurosh Irani, who runs CSR at FinServ. We have, thanks Kurosh. We have Pallavi, who runs the CPBFI program and travels all around the country doing that. We have our team, communication teams. We've got Swapna, we've got Frida. We have our training partners that enable this all around the country, and some of them are here. So I think we have Girija from CIEL, we have Uday over here from Wagons Learning, and there are others as well. Thank you. And finally, the chairperson of our CSR steering committee, my wife Shifali. You know, normally when you forget somebody from the family, you have a hard trouble at home. In this case, because I've named her, I'm going to have trouble when I go back home. I can already see her staring at me. Our journey on skilling started in 2016. Across Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Allianz Insurance, as we started penetrating smaller towns, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 towns around the country, the skill gap became very apparent. Our branches, our offices there needed local people, and there were enough young graduates, but the gap between what college taught them for financial services and what we needed became very apparent. And as we talked to other peers in the industry, we realized that this was a common problem in financial services. And as always, once you identify a problem, you try to find a solution. And when you don't see a solution, then you create the solution. And that is CPBFI. Next. Our program then for skilling became, how do we actually enable youngsters, primarily from smaller towns, from villages, first generation students, 70% of them are women. How do we enable them to realize their dreams in financial services? Our program is national. because as you can understand, the requirement when you have a large distribution, as in banking, insurance, asset management, is national. And we had to identify and work with a set of training partners to make sure that we can deliver this program nationally. And we worked on an operating model of bringing the best minds together in creating the program, in delivering the program, and ensuring the right access. Next. So our target segment principally is students Tier 2 to Tier 4. As you can see, since we've been running this for over 6 years now, 66% of students are first-generation graduates. They belong to Tier 2 to Tier 3 cities. We were very positively surprised that 70% of them are girls and young women. And we have so many examples of young girls finishing the programs, getting a job in financial services, and coming back to us a few months later saying that, we have doubled and tripled our household incomes, and we have a voice at home now. So tremendous positive consequences, some of it even we had not imagined or planned for, I must be honest. Next. As we started building this program, we built a core module on technical skilling for the banking, the insurance, and the asset management industries. But we realized very soon in the first year itself that for youngsters in these small towns to get into an established office, to suddenly start working 8-10 hours a day in an institutionalized process, they just didn't have the soft skills for it. And we worked with noted institutes to create a soft skills program, including English as a spoken language, and we added that to the program. We also realized that a number of students were leaving within the first 100 days of working in an office environment because the pressures of it they could not handle. And that's where the entire attitudinal training module got added to this program as well. And finally, as we started supporting these students after they had graduated and after they had got certified in this program for jobs, we created our own mock workshops to get them ready for their interviews and for their jobs. Next. We can't do this ourselves. And I talked about CII and Wagons. We also work with a few other training partners, 5 in all. We have worked with them. We have built the training module. We have trained the training partners. We have over 250 trainers pan-India through them. And they go tie up with the colleges within a set of, I would say, boundary conditions that we have discussed with them and identify the students for the program. So that's a 5-step operating model that we've been working on. Next. We are now present in 22 states, 410 colleges, as I mentioned, with 240 plus trainers and 5 training partners. Our aim is to continue growing. As you can see, we've made an entry into the Northeast as well a couple of years ago, but we have to further penetrate that and Northern India. But with this training program, we have now cumulatively certified over 50,000 youngsters, and in this year alone, we should be doing 12 to 15,000 of them. Next. So just a set of milestones. Our first couple of years between 16 and 17 went in putting together the first version of the program, running pilots in Wardha, which is our hometown. My Uncle Shekhar talked about it, and Nagpur, building the right connections with industry, with training partners. Between 18 and 20, as we started penetrating all of Maharashtra and expanding beyond that, COVID hit us, and the program went through an evolution to make it fit for working in a non-college environment and training the teachers in a different manner. And then in the last couple of years, further expansion to take it to a national program, including the team has put 11,000 enrolled. That's for this year. Our target is to close 14 to 15,000. We've also gone through 2 more revisions of the program. This is now a 100-hour program. So it's quite extensive, and it runs in the 3rd year, the final year of college. These are, of course, BCom, BA colleges in Tier 2 to Tier 4 cities. It's a program that is typically in the last term, and of course, it's a voluntary program. It's an additional course that students have to perform. We are looking now at lighter versions of this, digital versions of this, versions of this in various languages, and that is going to be the next phase of activity. We have a small film which we'd like to share.
Knowledge.
Upskill. Opportunity.
Experience. Empathy.
Change.
Exciting future.
India. Young, vibrant, aspiring. A country of 1 billion dreams. Realizing these dreams is possible and is already underway. At Bajaj Finserv, we are part of India's journey to making the dreams of Rohit, Diksha, Sejal, and many more come true. The reins of our future are in the hands of our youth. Skilling our youth can catapult India into a global economic powerhouse. Knowing this, we launched our CPBFI program in 2016 to upskill young students and prepare them for employment in the banking and finance industry. Today, our CPBFI program has given wings to the dreams of 53,000 young people, enabling them to evolve as banking or finance professionals.
In this course, I came to know in depth what is actually banking. I didn't had any idea about insurance. I am ready to switch from teaching sector to banking sector.
Nobody from my family is in this sector. Everybody is engaged with agriculture. I am the only person who came out of that sector. Finance can help me to do my agriculture better.
The intensive 100-hour CPBFI program has been created by top industry experts.
It's an employability skills program which helps students to get entry in banking, insurance and finance industry. I really feel that students are really making most out of this program because the technical knowledge that they get here is not available anywhere.
Along with banking and insurance classes, we also have quarterly communication classes in which we have improved both our written and speaking abilities. It helped us boost confidence. At the same time, the classes were so engaging.
The deep reach of CPBFI across states in India ensures that students from smaller towns and cities are ready to meet the specific local needs of financial services businesses in their own regions.
I'm really able to understand the banking, like their transactions, their loans, and the most important thing, the honesty of the manager.
The program is aimed at aspirants in Tier 2 and 3 cities. On completion of the CPBFI program, students undergo an assessment process followed by workshops by human resource professionals. This is extremely important as these mock interviews are simulated by Bajaj Finserv recruiters, providing students insights into industry expectations from them.
Before the course began, our students were in dilemma whether we should take up this course or not. But once they started the course, they developed the confidence. This confidence, which is the need of the hour.
One finance professional at a time, the CPBFI program is making a telling impact on society and the financial services industry. 70% of students are young women, while a sizable 66% of students have parents who are not graduates. The CPBFI program is enabling these families to grow their income multiple times, leading to their financial well-being.
I'm a first postgraduate in my family. I'm currently doing MBA in marketing. This program inspires me to enter this sector. So the whole trainers are so inspirational.
What started out as a training program to meet the talent gap is now providing youth with opportunities, catalyzing social change and enabling a young India to take wings into a limitless sky. And we hope to go a long way. Scale up to skill up.
Exciting future!
Creating finance professionals for the future.
As we were building out this program, last year I happened to spend some time with Shri Dharmendra Pradhan, who's our Minister for Skilling, Education and Entrepreneurship. And coincidentally, he happened to ask me, he said, what are groups like you doing for skilling? So I talked to him about our CPBFI program, and he came out exceedingly supportive. He says, this is exactly what we want industry to do. He said, we are very happy to connect your team with AICTE, NSDC, so we can certify your programs. You will get a Skills India certification. It will just create wider opportunity for students. And then he went a step beyond himself. As I mentioned to you, this program is a 100-hour program. It takes up an entire course in the last year. And students have to do this in addition to their normal statutory courses. And we've all been students, right? So who wants to study more than is required? He has started us on a process where in the coming months, we will be, I think, the only financial services company, and other than a few IT companies, the only company that will now get rights from the government to give credits for this program in colleges around the country, which is a very big step, because one is the confidence that they've shown in the program. So he has had a whole team evaluate this program with our team. It also then means that this can replace 3 or 4 credits in the final year for students and make the adoption of the program that much more. He was also very keen to launch this program in Odisha, that's where he comes from. And last month we launched this in 50 colleges, and the team and I were there, so that's a picture from that. So coming with that to my last slide, we have so far crossed 53,000 students. We will close this year with over 55,000 students. Our aim over the next 5 years with this and similar programs is to touch the lives of 400,000 students and more. Thank you. The Bajaj Group has had a very long relationship with CII. I've also had the opportunity to work with CII as its president 2 years ago, and hence as much as Chandrajit Banerjee, who's the Director General of CII, tries to get away from Bajaj, he finds it difficult to do so. I would like to now invite him on stage to make a very special announcement.
Very good afternoon, and thanks Neeraj-ji, thanks Shekhar-ji, thanks Madhur-ji, thanks Rajiv and Sanjeev for really including CII and my institution and ourselves into this very special function of yours. Indeed grateful. Thank you very much, and to all the members of the Bajaj family, the staff and guests. Congratulations on such a phenomenal launch and a phenomenal idea which you all are taking forward today, and once again, thank you for including us in this very special journey. As Sanjeev just mentioned that there has been a very special relationship. Yes, of course, with Mr. Rahul Bajaj and CII is a synonymous. Sometimes, very fondly, if there was any institution or any company leader who was called the owner of CII, it was from this institution that he kept being referred to as that. not just 2 times the president, but we still considered him to be a conscious keeper, so to say, of the institution, and many, many achievements. And he was just not a plain speaker like that one has heard vis-a-vis the general ecosystem, but he was also very straightforward and tough within the CII system too. And you know, one does misses Sunday 1-hour calls even today. But last Sunday, when the institution was going through a special challenge, Sanjeev knows about it. We were going through the special challenge, and we had a past president's meeting called in just 2 hours' time. My question to Sanjeev's successor, as who is the president now, was what would have Rahul Bajaj said in this meeting, and can we reflect on that before taking a final decision on what we took that day on Sunday? So that's how we still remember him every time. Rajiv mentioned about the second most, and he didn't mention who's the first. The first is he. So he beats me definitely on it, and otherwise my job is at stake, Rajiv. So you better be the number one there. But thank you once again. You know, there's a lot that was talked about and so well presented on the plans that Bajaj has going forward in terms of skilling, and it so much matches with ours. We have looked at the demography of our country, we have seen the demographic dividend, and we've seen how we could really make this into something which would help India attain a double-digit growth, which is just by seeing to it how do we employ and make our people employable to get into that group. So our first skilling center, you'll be surprised to know, the CII's first skilling center goes back to somewhere in 2006, and it's a very difficult guess as to where it was. For the first skilling center that we set up was in Kabul. So we were actually requested to set up one in Kabul those days. So it was not in India that we set up a full-fledged skilling center for various trades. So it ran for quite some time. And thereafter, of course, we replicated many across the country. So we have 4 different models through which we work. One is the multi-skilling center, which is called, which if I can say, the Model 1. And these are various companies coming into that center. Many companies participating, be it a manufacturing company or be it even a service sector companies, from chefs to drivers of training drivers on construction equipment to what have you. So each of these centers have 10 to 12 private sector companies participating. And we have a few centers at this point in time, which we want to scale this up from 4 to 24 over a period of time. And that's one very important model which is working very well in some of these centers. These are national centers but located in different parts of the country. The second is a sector-specific skilling centers that we have. One which is running very successfully at this point in time with our partners. Our partners are both Indian companies, but also international agencies. Like an example of that is an institution called ECOL, which works out of Lausanne in Switzerland and which trains for the hospitality sector. And our partners in India include companies like ITC or Tata's or even now others who are, so these are joint certification program, hospitality programs, 24 of them across the country. This has been a pilot. But we are now replicating that to many other sectors, including in healthcare, where we are looking at radiologists and many other areas of training into the healthcare sector through such partners. And then we will move into areas like financial security, even areas like cyber security. Of course, we were in Singapore just about a week back, just 2 weeks back, and there Singapore minister was keen that, the health minister was keen that we set up, again, nursing training centers over here in certain locations. We had always wanted to do a project which would which would cover up many of our ideas that I was talking about. So this is an opportunity today. And as we are building up these sectors, and moving on to these sectors, today we talked about manufacturing sectors, we are looking at areas like fitter, welder, electricians. All of that work is still continuing in sectors. But we are moving into sectors like the manufacturing 4.0, where we are talking about drones, we are talking about even creating operators for our drones, which will really touch a lot in the rural sector, robotic welding, CAD/CAM, of course, and UI, UX animation, gaming. All of those are areas where we are now venturing into. And these will grow into different centers as we move along. The third model is our international mobility work. Actually, with Japan, the government of India appointed us as the sending organization, which means that we train people in India and in Japan over a period of 1 to 1.5 years, including the language, of course, but then it could be, again, from elderly care to agriculture specialists to electronics, electrical, and so on and so forth. And so far, we have been able to send, in the last 2 years, 300-odd people who go from here into Japan, work there for 2 to 3 years, and they're expected to come back because they would be well trained to be employable anywhere else. So now we have been approached by countries like Finland, the Nordic, even Australia and Middle East for taking that forward. So that's a third area of our model which we would like to expand and work on. And the fourth and the very interesting one is something called an MCC, which is a Model Career Center, which is like a private employment exchange. And these are located in many parts of the country near a metro station, so an ITI person just can walk into it to say that this is what I am and how do I take my career forward. And here also there are many companies, maybe 10, 12 company representatives from our members who are present in these centers. And they talk about career counseling, they impart soft and employability skills, digital skills, and then they work on placement, 100% placements from those centers primarily. And many of them are with institutions like the Pan IIT and all of that. So at these MCCs, we are looking at taking it from 41 MCCs in the country to 100 this year because of this partnership that we are really looking at. So all four types of these models that I talked to will be subsumed in this phenomenal partnership that we are looking at. And in the next 5 years, we are looking through these models to really touch 10 million odd youth. So that's the sort of target and the work that we are working in. One critical area that we shall look into would be actually reskilling as well as upskilling. And the focus will be on the future of work, which is becoming extremely different, as we all of us know. We are really looking at, as I mentioned, 4.0 and the other disruptors that are coming into it. And besides that, the center that we are really looking at, this is going to be a multi-locational center, but we will really focus a lot with the states as well as with the central government, and also when we work with international geographies in areas of mobility, so that policy advocacy also becomes a very strong area of work, besides, of course, standard setting. I wanted to conclude that, when I don't want to sort of be talking about my age, but then when I was kid on the block in 1987 in CII, one of my first assignments in CII was to look at skilling, and that time skilling was really not appreciated in the way it was. And I was asked to look at a model called World Skills Olympics, and it was Australia which used to host it at that point in time. And then when I understood how do we celebrate skills, and we conducted in 1988 February, if I recollect correctly, a skills competition amongst workers from all across the country. About 100-odd member companies of CII participated in the eastern part of the country, but it was a truly Indian competition, and Today, India, as you know, participates in the World Skills Olympics. So that 1987 start by us in terms of celebrating skills was a huge milestone for us to see that, and then slowly, of course, it became a movement within our institution. Today, when we work on skills as an institution, we also look at how we are able to not just work in Indian cities, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Our dream is to go into the villages, open more of our district and rural level skilling centers and look at non-agricultural rural jobs, get them set for it. So this particular recognition, if I may say, by the Bajaj Group to be including us in this vision of theirs would be of great value to us and would help us scale up our work on skilling, which as a national service and as something which just not our member companies require, but I believe it will be so very critical and important for our nation. Once again, thank you to the Bajaj family and all of you at Bajaj. Thank you very much.
India, the world's 5th largest economy and poised for further growth, is ready to develop a future-ready workforce for the rapidly evolving employment landscape and rising demand for skilled talent. A strong foundation has been created by CII for building a robust skill development ecosystem through many on-ground initiatives. As a catalyst, CII has been equipping India's talent through skilling, reskilling and upskilling, seamlessly integrating youth into the dynamic demands of the workforce. For decades, late Shri Rahul Bajaj inspired CII's thought process as a guiding light and committed mentor, building on his vision and aspirations. CII is launching the CII Rahul Bajaj Center of Excellence on Skills, which will stand as a beacon in the skilling domain. To scale up these initiatives, CII is instituting a new age center of excellence which aims to add impetus to employability of youth, impacting 10 million youth in the next 5 years. This scaling up will be enabled through a phygital platform with a multilingual portal and an app, boosted by a pan-India presence for better outreach of services, equipped with in-house sectoral technical experts and operating from sectoral industry centers, embodying industry excellence and a commitment to nurture a future-ready workforce. The center will unlock avenues towards increased productivity and map emerging job roles, creating benchmarks for future excellence through industry-aligned curriculum and quality certification. The Center of Excellence will aim to create internationally benchmarked specialized job roles. The center will scale up across India through the various on-ground initiatives, the multi-skill training institutes being the model career centers and sectoral training institutes. The Center of Excellence will work in a hub-and-spoke model pan-India and will cater to the training needs of key high-growth sectors. It will be headquartered in Pune with state-of-the-art infrastructure and high-tech AI-driven sectoral training labs, laying the robust foundation for young Indian workforce, equipping them with global skilling standards, digital skills, international pathways, and lifelong learning. The Center of Excellence will also host high-tech AI-driven labs on key sectors like manufacturing lab, healthcare, financial services, hospitality, IT, ITES, and UI/UX automotive, and also a drone technology. The CII Rahul Bajaj Center of Excellence will embark on a collaborative journey and partner with countries and international organizations to leverage their best practices to create an agile, future-ready talent pool. With this Center of Excellence as a vibrant node, let's all converge together and set the pace for India's robust growth with a skilled workforce.